What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for the first ever episode of Rock Gone Wrong.
Fucking excuse you? They're, trash pop? Have you heard of trash pop, John? It's the genre that they invented. This should at the very least be called trash pop gone wrong if you're gonna be accurate like you claim to always be.
So you want me to call it trash pop gone wrong?
Yeah, either that or I break your fucking windshield. Your choice, bitch.
Okay then, what's up everyone? Welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another episode of Trash Pop Gone... Never mind. Rock Gone Wrong. I know it's a loosely fitting term, but we're rolling with it. Simple Creatures are up for discussion today. This is a musical duo consisting of All Time Low's Alex Gaskarth and Blink-182 plus 44 and more's Mark Hoppus, the man who has been delivering so many mediocre guest vocal features in the pop-punk scene in the past 5 years that I can't even keep up with it anymore. Neither of these guys have exactly been in their prime as of late, although I would definitely say that Mark has been a bit more unfavorable in my eyes. Definitely still two musical people that I look up to a lot. I draw inspiration from their older music, many of their works that they put out to the world, and I'm grateful for that. I'm not slamming them as human beings, but their music output as of the past few years has not been great, and that continues again, unfortunately, with Simple Creatures. This project, according to the duo, was created to scratch an itch, as they put it, and I can definitely see that being the case. I get the very self-fulfilling songs that are coming about here. This is a 6-song project. Strange Love is EP 1. Apparently EP 2 is already done, already in the bag, and they could have a full-length album on the way. I'm just kinda, after hearing this record, really hoping that they pump the brakes there and say, maybe I focus on the Blink-182 and All Time Low records. The biggest problem that I have with the music of Simple Creatures is the fact that I don't think there's a genuine hook. There's catchiness, but it's also kind of like a cheap, fleeting high. You know, the na-na-na-na-na, possibly from the lead single Drug, and that track is extremely irritating to me. Honestly, the lyrics of that one, it feels like there's decent sections, maybe building up to the chorus, and then maybe some parts of the verses, but it feels like they're stitching lines together. And there's nothing wrong with their dynamic of bouncing lines off of each other and saying, hey, this might fit with this, and maybe you could do this vocal part here. But Alex absolutely dominates vocally compared to Mark. I feel like his parts of the song are unfortunately always the worst. And in this project, I feel like he kind of gets delegated to just taking on these darker leaning sides where he just sounds like he's doing a feature like he's been phoning in for the past 5 years. Let's take a look at How to Live, an egregiously bad tune that kind of presents itself as this sleek electro pop meets darker leaning alternative type track. And really, it's just a cover-up for the fact that they didn't have a great idea. Instead, they had something on paper, they made it come to life. But the lyrics here, they are talking about somebody not wanting to interfere and maybe their significant other's life. I'm not going to tell you how to live, but I feel like I've got this advice for you. And it's really all lost, the message that is, in the mixing, the production here. It's so almost 2012 alternative, trying too hard to cross over to the mainstream style pop, that I really can't even be bothered to listen to it again. As I mentioned, Drug feels like this fleeting high that definitely could provide a good time, at least temporarily, but it's like a band-aid covering up the fact that there's 100 or 1,000 songs in the same vein that are actually fun and aren't covering up the fact that they don't have any lyrical depth or direction or sense of ability to actually party with just dime a dozen production and lyrics. And then we move into Strange Love immediately after that. It's the title track. How are they gonna grip us here? They don't. That's the thing. There's this lackluster roller coaster ride that tries to build up where they have the gang vocals, they team up together. It's Alex and Mark, and then it has the kind of weird na 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 vocals that are kind of pitch shifted, thrown in there. And as they talked about in interviews, they kind of just said if they had an idea that sounded like All Time Low or Blink, then they would just turn in the opposite direction. honestly, this feels a little bit more in line with maybe Last Young Renegade meets certain parts of California, the worst elements of both of those records, and then they shove it into a tune like this to really just make it implode. There are a couple of good songs on this EP. It's not all apocalypse. Everything about Simple Creatures is the worst thing ever. It's just that I feel it's such a waste of potential, this project. There's nothing interesting about the guitars that are here, or the forced programmed drums that we hear the majority of the time, or the synthesizers. Everything is just so flat and lifeless. I'm just dying for something more. So maybe that's what makes other tracks like Adrenaline sound that much better. This is a pretty well done pop rock affair that is catchy enough. The melody will linger in your head. I don't think it's on par with what All Time Low and Blink have been capable of, obviously, but for this, Simple Creatures in 2019, I'll take it. Unfortunately, sandwiched in between Adrenaline and the EP's best song, Lucy, we have to make it through Ether, which really sounds like a bad combination of some of the more electronically inclined All Time Low cuts and maybe some of the overproduced Blink-182 ones. It's clear that they have their crutches that they lean on and things that they tap into for songwriting. And Ether, I understand the message here. It seems like somebody is trying to get out of this toxic relationship, or maybe things just aren't right and they can't make the decision. They don't know if they should hurt the person and move on or just stay there, take the ether. What do? I get the message of it. It's the production and just how slow to do or accomplish anything this song is. And it's not slow in the sense that you feel some sort of emotion. It's just there, like watching paint dry. Angering me even just a bit more is the potential that they truly flex on the closing cut Lucy, which they both listed as their favorite song on the EP. Yeah, obviously it's your favorite. It's the only good song here. Obviously it's the one that's gonna be fun to play live because there's some actual energy, there is storytelling, and I honestly feel that they captured a different angle vocally for both Alex and Mark. If you give them something to care about, then they can absolutely hit the grand slam. But if you're not giving them anything to work with, which in this case, they're not giving themselves things to work with, then what are they supposed to do? Lucy is a very well told track. It was actually based on the producer Zach's girlfriend, who is actually named Lucy, does some of the backing vocals on the EP, even on this track, and it sounds really damn good. Like, yeah, it's cleanly produced, but I also feel like there's kind of a 90s sound that creeps up, and I love that. Everything about this song is just ace, and it really makes me sad that the rest of the EP couldn't be more in line, at least a little bit, with this. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with Simple Creatures, because All Time Low have announced that they are working on writing, kind of throwing some ideas out there, and they're sounding heavier again, and Blink-182 are talking about going darker and more aggressive. It seems like we could get a Blink album this summer, and maybe an All Time Low single by the end of the year. Let me know what you think about the Simple Creatures project though, because in my opinion, it definitely is rock gone wrong, trash pop gone wrong, whatever you want to bill it as. It's kind of a tap out, I feel, to kind of poke fun at yourself and say, oh, well, it's trash pop, we're just doing whatever, haha, loving term. It doesn't change the fact that the majority of the music still sucks. For me, I'm giving this a 2.5 out of 5, possibly a 2, definitely a very light 2.5. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Can't be bothered with this anymore. I'm saving Lucy and moving on. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like on this video and keep in mind that it is all just my opinion. Let me know what you thought of the EP down below. Check out an All Time Low review right here, or check out another episode of Gone Wrong, a Rap Gone Wrong episode right over here. Socials in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.